Hey friend, it is Brandon Gustafson with Assisted Living Investing. I help beginners like you launch their assisted living business in the next 12 months. Excited to have you. This is take two here on the live session. The first one, I did not click my audio, my jack into the adapter, and so you couldn't hear anything. So we're gonna try this again, and I'm hoping that it works well, kind of in a different space for everybody. And this is not the time that I announced that we would be doing the live, so we'll see how many people we get here. But if you do show up, then make sure that you comment your questions, and we'll get into it. So today's video, we're going to be talking about the different roles, leadership roles, specifically for assisted living, and what that looks like. So if you're interested in that, would love to hear what you have to say. And I'm going to ask for a little bit of participation as we get into this one today. So please make sure you do your comments in here, and make sure that you're helping me know who here is listening. And as we get started, want to also remind you to go and grab the free checklist down below. So I'm going to have a link. There's a ticker. Go to assistedlivinginvesting.net/BP checklist. That's going to get you access to this link, and then you'll be able to see that and get access to that as a tool that's going to help you move things along. So without further ado, let me share my screen and bring this up. And I'm doing this in a different space, a little bit out of my element today, but kind of rearranging my recording space, and excited to do this with you today. So as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about the residential assisted living leadership roles that exist with assisted living. So, in doing that, I wanted to give you a little bit of background on who I am. My name is Brandon Gustafson. I own and operate two assisted living facilities, and have done that since 2020. So, I've had those facilities for a few years now. I've secured over $1.5 million in SBA funding, and I also operate out of state. So, I live in Utah. Have one of my facilities in Colorado, and the other one is in Idaho. So we do that. And then I have a master's in healthcare administration with over a decade of experience. As we get into the roles here, and I'll go ahead and go into this, there's three main roles that I kind of boil all of this down into. There's an owner, there's an operator, and there's an administrator. So my role in what I do in my facilities is more of the owner operator role. And I'll get into that a little bit as I progress here. But it's important to note that these roles can cross over. And a good way to kind of explain this is I was actually in my mastermind program. We had our Q&A, and somebody was bringing up this question. They wanted to know kind of what these are. And after I explained it, she's like, okay, so this is what it is. And she used a corporate analogy, and I really like this. So an administrator is kind of like a manager level. The operator is more of a director level, and then the owner is more of a VP level in the way that they are structured and the way that they work. As I go through these, though, what I'd love for you to do is comment down below which of these three roles you see yourself in. If you're an owner, then comment that. If you're an operator, then go ahead and comment that. And if you're an administrator, comment that. And if it's something that you're not yet, you would type in, I want to be an owner, or I will be, to use assumptive language. I want to be an operator. And if you're crossing over, that's okay. Put those in. And the last thing I want you to do is to, if you are one of these people and you're an owner and you want somebody to operate for you, or you're an operator and you need the capital to buy stuff. I'm working on building out kind of a a way for you all to network, and would love for you to get onto the website assistedlivinginvesting.net and go to the contact page and just submit a thing for me that lets me know your contact info, a little bit about your background and things like that. And then if you're okay with me making connections for you, really want to know like where you want to operate, and some of the information. I'm not going to sell any of your information. As I grow, I would potentially reach out to you, but it's not that I'm looking at this for myself. This is much more of a networking opportunity for people, and allowing you to make connections so you can vet each other before getting involved. So if you're interested in doing that, then just get over to assistedlivinginvesting.net/contact. There should be a way for you to fill out a form, send me an email, and then we'll put that in kind of a database as we get going. So um, there's your action item for you as you're watching these, and as I kind of explain exactly what these three different roles are inside of this. Other places might call these different. That's totally fine. But in my mind, there's really these three core places that you want to be, three core roles that you want to be aware of. And I'm gonna just hop over really quick and see if I have any questions. Okay, I'm on a different screen, so I can't see anybody in the chat. If there's any questions, if there are some, there will be a little bit of time here at the end for Q&A. So go ahead and type those in. I realize that we might not have a ton of people here live because the timing was off based off of my bad recording earlier. So, but if you have questions, make sure you type those in below, even after the fact, and we'll get into those. So an owner, what is an owner? They're the person that owns the business. They have final say on those big important decisions, and they delegate responsibilities. The idea with being an owner is you're the money person. You own the real estate. You kind of want to have all of that. You want the benefits of helping people. You want to be here. You want to be in this industry. You want to have an impact on your community and things like that, but you don't have the background in healthcare. You have no interest in running a business. You just want to be an investor. If that's you, then type owner down below. Would love to see how many of you are the owner. And it's what you typically are looking for is that person that could come in and operate things for you and take over operations, so that you don't have to worry about any of the decisions or any of the things that go into running this type of a business. So that's an owner. Now let's get into what an operator is. An operator is they're kind of more they handle the high level conversations. They report up to the owner, but they handle the majority of the things that need to be taken care of, taking all of that weight and things off of the owner, so they don't have to worry about those decisions, and can trust that things are being run correctly. They manage the administrator. They're kind of in between that, to go back to that corporate example, between the VP and the manager. They're a director. They have more big picture type of a view of what's going on, and they understand some of those more strategic decisions that need to be made. They're the ones that are doing that. They're possibly interfacing with some of the regulatory bodies that are higher up. So for me, I consider myself an owner operator. I own the business. I do all of the things that an owner would do, but I also do the operational piece. So in our video last week, our live last week, we talked about grants. So I'm the person that's working with the grants, and when we have to interface with the state, different state departments for the grant, and the construction that we're doing, and the licensing and all of those things, I'm doing that. I'm working with our construction company. I'm working with those vendors. When we need to find a new EHR system. If you want to know more about EHR, type in EHR down below. I can do some videos on what EHR is. It's an electronic healthcare record system. It has some really good information. So type that down below if that's interested. Go ahead and comment that. But I'm the person that's kind of interfacing with those and making those decisions. That's my role as an operator, to be involved in that. And so that person is going to be coming out more strategic minded, and trying to help grow the business and make sure that it is remaining profitable and that it's sustainably profitable. That's what an operator is. Now let's talk about the administrator. The administrator is like one is more key to anybody else, honestly. Administrators, if you're watching this, like, thank you for all the work that you do. You probably don't hear it enough, but you are incredible. We could not build these businesses and run these businesses without you. Um, you are the face of the of the franchise. You're the face of the business, and you're the ones that when a resident or a person in the community or somebody at the state generally, when they think about a facility, they think of the administrator. That is who they that's who they talk to. That's who they interface with. That is who excuse me. That's who they think of when they think of the facility. So you, as an owner or an operator, you want to make sure that you have the right person in this position, because they are the face of of the facility and everything that you're trying to do there. They're extremely important. They do the day-to-day work. They work with the staff. They interface with staff. They hire them. They run payroll. Typically, they're just like really familiar with the ins and outs of what's going on in the business. They find new residents. They interface with the families of the residents. They bring them in. If somebody needs to get discharged, they're the ones that are handling that. They do all of the day-to-day operations, and then they delegate as they can down to their caregivers and med techs and the nurses, but they are ultimately responsible for all of those things. They are also interfacing with the state and the ombudsman. An ombudsman is basically an advocate for the residents. If you'd like to learn more about what an ombudsman is and how that might impact your ability to run an assisted living business, comment ombudsman down below, and you can see the spelling here on the slide. So comment that down below, and if that's of use, then I'd love to make some videos around that and what that looks like. But suffice to say, the administrator is a person that does all of this work. Now, as I mentioned earlier, a person, you as the person that wants to start this, you could do all three of these roles. You could be an administrator, operator, owner. You could do all that. You could be an administrator, operator. You could be an operator, owner. You could kind of work through all these, or you could just have individuals in each of these sections. Regardless of how you want to get this thing started, those are the three buckets that I like to put people in because it allows you to kind of see what's going on. So if you're an owner, comment owner down below. If you're an operator, comment that down below. And if you're an administrator, comment that down below. And if you want to be one of those, then just say, I will be one of those three. And if you're a crossover, then comment that down as well. I'd love to hear from you. Now, while there are those three, there are a few others that I want you to be aware of, and just kind of some other terms that you may hear as you're trying to figure out some of the leadership roles inside of assisted living. One is going to be executive director. So in my mind, an executive director and an operator are very similar in the way that they work. Executive directors are is more industry term for how you would term that. They are typically going to be over multiple facilities, and they're handling some of those more strategically driven decisions in the way that you want to run the business. So that's something that as you grow your business, as you scale it, you might want to have this executive director position. A lot of what I see is they're actually former administrators and then they bump up into that position. So if you want to create a career ladder as you're growing your portfolio, hiring administrators that have the ability, the education, the just like the the personality to be an executive director, this might be something that you would want to consider. So executive director is one position there, but very similar, I would say, to operator. So a lot of what I just talked about with an operator kind of pertains to an executive director level position as well. The next is a manager. So a manager, depending on the state, manager and administrator actually are interchangeable. Some of them, some states actually call administrators managers. So when you hear this, you might want to clarify, but it could be that somebody is talking about a manager and an administrator and using that interchangeably. Very possible that that could be the case. So, uh, some states they might consider it something different, but you want to get clarification when somebody says, "I want to be the manager of the facility." I would probe a little bit, ask a little bit more, a little bit deeper, and see what exactly that means in the vernacular that they are using. And then the third one here is a management company. Management companies generally are going to be for larger facilities, or if you have multiple facilities, like four or more is typically what I see with a management company. The margins don't make a lot of sense when you have a tiny facility. You have like a 1 6-bed facility. It's not going to make sense to have a management company. But if you have 4 10-bed facilities, all of a sudden it's starting to make more sense. A lot of what I see in the industry, management companies are like between 3 and 5% of income is what you're paying that company, but they take over a lot of what like an executive director or an operational operator would be doing. They handle all of that. So as an owner, somebody that just wants the real estate, if you have multiple facilities or you're getting a large one, this could be a really good fit for somebody to kind of run things for you in a way that does that without having to give away any of the equity in the business. Because if you want to bring on an operator, You can find them, but oftentimes in the beginning, small facilities, you bring in an operator. Typically, you're going to have to give some type of ownership. So that's just something for you to be aware of as you get into this. So if you'd like to learn a little bit more about management companies, type in management company down below in the comments, and I'll see what I can do to kind of do a little more of a deep dive into what a management company is and how it works and how it could impact you as you're moving through and trying to run the facility. A really good opportunity there for you though, because if you consider this as an owner, it might be better for you to, rather than giving 20 to 50% of ownership in the business, to pay somebody 3 to 5% to run the facility for you. It might be better for your scenario. I don't know. That's very much a personal decision for how you want to do those things. That's just something for you to be aware of as you get into that. So yeah, just want you to think about that if that's the route that you're considering going. Is management company might be worth taking a look at and doing some research on. I had something else I was going to say about owners in that scenario, and it has left my brain twice while I've been talking. So if it comes back, I'll get to you. Anyways, if there's any questions, go ahead and type those down below. While people are typing questions, want to remind you to get over to the website assistedlivinginvesting.net, download that business plan checklist, the BP checklist, and then like the video, subscribe, ring the bell as well, so you get notified every time we do these live sessions. Those are on Tuesdays, typically earlier than what I'm doing right now. Sorry for the audio issues, especially those that are watching the old video and you're like, why is the audio not working? I apologize. Look, hopefully this one goes better. Definitely have more people here, which is promising than the last one. I think people are getting on and seeing my mouth move and not hearing me, and we're dropping off pretty quick. Nobody commented that they couldn't hear me though. So hopefully that is a better scenario for everybody this go round. But like, subscribe, ring the bell, get notified when we put this stuff out. If you need help as you're going through this as well, go check out the mastermind program, assistedlivinginvesting.net/mastermind, to learn a little bit more about how I could help you out through the process to see if it's a good fit as you're trying to figure out how to make progress on your investment journey. So if there's any other questions, feel free to type those in. I'm trying to jog my memory on the thing with the owners and management companies, and it is gone. So yeah, sorry. um, but I want to thank you all for being here. Thanks for watching. Get over to assistedlivinginvesting.net. If you want the grant template, I forgot to change this from the last time, from our last video about grants, go and grab that one. And if you want to learn more about grants, comment grants down below, and we'll make sure we get you that recording as well. And then if you want the business plan checklist, which has been going around with the ticker, go grab that, assistedlivinginvesting.net/BP checklist. I want to thank everybody for being here, for watching. Excited to kind of grow with you and help you along your journey. Does residential assisted living sound interesting to you, but you don't know how to get started? At assistedlivinginvesting.net, we're here to help beginners like you learn how to launch their business in the next 12 months. So excited to help you along that process. And remember, it doesn't take a lot, just a little bit. Keep going step by step by step. And I promise you, if you do and you're consistent and persistent, you're going to be successful. Thanks for watching and have a great day. We'll talk to you next week.